Today we're going to make an ornament. So Christmas season is coming, so we're going to make this cute little wreath ornament with a poinsettia. So I pre-made some of them. So first we're going to take the sage green. This is a full-length sheet piece. I fold it in half and we cut it. Then we take the quilling tool, and I like the Quilt Creations board. Today we're going to use, I know it's kind of worn out, sorry, but the biggest one here is a 0. This one's a 1. This one's number 2. This one's number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So we're going to use a number 3 today. So we take it and we just put it in the slotted tool. I like to twist away from me, but you can twist towards you, it doesn't matter. And then you pull it off and you put it in. I like to hold it down and then with my fingernail, still holding it, slightly release it, and it keeps it in that form. We'll do the second one. There's some automatic tools that you can use. I haven't tried them yet, but you can do that. It's less twirling and work on your hands. So you pull it out, still holding it. I like my needle point glue tip with the rubbery piece. You don't put a lot on, a little bit, and I use this to smooth it out. Make sure you all go to the end. And then I count to 5 to make sure it's securely on there. And then we go to the next one. I like to use my middle finger to kind of scoop it out. Push it down. And like I said, I like to count to 5 or so to make sure it's secure. The next piece we're going to make is part of the poinsettia flower. So I should say that the sage green is a 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter wide, where the poinsettia is going to be 1/8 or 3 millimeters wide. So this is red, just standard red. Again, we're going to take the full length piece, we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to start with the same process, twirling away from us. That's because I like to do it. Some people like to go toward. It doesn't really matter. Pull it off, carefully put it in the number 3 and slowly let it uncurl. We'll do the next one. Pull it off. Like I said, I like to keep my finger in there and just hold it in place as it lets it go. Again, I like my middle finger to hold it. Just a little bit of glue. Count to 5 to hold it in place. So with the poinsettia ones, you're going to make 2 points on either end. So you're going to keep the circle towards the center and squeeze to make points on either end. Carefully pull it out. A little glue. And carefully keep that little circle in the center. Okay, the last piece is we want to have these little leaves. So we use the forest green, the 1/8 piece. So again, we're going to cut it in half. And we're still going to use the number 3, twirling away from us. Pulling it off. Holding it in place and letting it uncurl. Sometimes it doesn't want to go in. Twirling. Like I said, I like to go away. Some people like the other way. Pull it out. Put your finger there to let it uncurl. Once it gets to the size, a little glue. Squeeze both ends. I believe they call this a marquee shape, if I remember correctly. But when you squeeze both ends, it looks like this cute guy. Okay, so now the best thing to start with is to make our poinsettia flower first. So this is a 6-point flower with the 2 leaves. So we're going to do that first. We have our pins. So just going to go into the center. This is the pre-made star that I made with the 6 points on it. I bought this paper and the cork board. So for the next one, I find where I have my edge there, put a little bit of glue right to the edge, and pin it into place so it doesn't move. We go around our hole, trying to find my edge. Can move this around. So you can do, this is a 6-point poinsettia, you can do a 5-point, you can do an 8-point, you can do a 10-point. I believe the 6-point is a standard size, number of points. Almost done. See, once you have all them pre-made, it goes pretty quickly putting it together. It's not too bad. Last one of the poinsettia. So now we got to put it on 2 sides so we can glue the whole thing together. Okay. So now we can take the leaves. So once the poinsettia is done, we can take the leaves, and I just like to put it on opposite ends, so it doesn't even matter where exactly. You just put it on the opposite sides of each other. Just like that. And we can leave that there for a little bit. This is going to dry while we do some other stuff. So next, what we're going to make is this little tiny piece up here. As you can see, it has a larger hole in the top. That's so you can put the string in to hang it either on your Christmas tree. I like to hang them on my chandeliers. So we're going to make this piece here. And after that, we're going to make the center of the poinsettia in yellow. So for the center, what I use is a slightly different kind of tool. I use a bead roller. I also make paper beads, so this bead roller will allow us to have that large center. So this one in the center is a little bit different. You put it in the center like that. It just has the one side, and you just twirl it again like you do a regular quilled piece. Same kind of thing. You don't want too much glue. Can squeeze it a little bit. When you pull it off, I like to take the roller and just push it so it's nice and flat. So that's our cute little top for the bead. The next piece I'm going to make is that center of the poinsettia. So this is again yellow or deep yellow with the 1/8 inch wide. This is the regular roller. You put it in, it's going to be very tiny. It's going to be a tight coil. I'm going to leave it on there. Need a little bit of glue. Pull it off. I like to put it, oops, see, I didn't hold it long enough. And put it down there and squish it, make sure it's flat. And this is your little piece center of your poinsettia. Next, we're going to put all the little pieces of the wreath together. So we have 14 little circles that were used with the number 3 circle from the Quill Creations. And I put them together on my grid. For me, I count from this thicker grid line 1, 2, 3, and that's where I start. So I pick one, I pin it down so it doesn't move, and then I just go along. So in order for us not to have the seam showing, I glue the seam and put it next to each other. So we're going to go along, we're going to put the seam there, and we're going to glue each one down. And I'm going to do that for all of them. So the next part is this is the poinsettia, so we're going to take the pins out. It's dried sufficiently that it shouldn't move around. I like to hold my finger down and then pull the pins. If you leave the pins in for a while, too long, then you might pull the whole thing apart. So I like to hold it in place while I pull the pins. So that center piece that we made before, and twirl it to loosen it. We have the center yellow piece. We're going to put a little glue in the center here. And we're just going to plop it in the middle. Okay. So that's that part. We're going to go back to the main part of the wreath. And we're going to take these pins out. Again, holding your finger down so they don't move, just in case. As you can see, I filled in my whole circle. Depending on the size of the circles you do, it might be a little smaller, might be a little bigger. This comes out 3.5 inches across. So we just loosen that a little bit. So we're going to take, and we'll do that later. So we're going to take the poinsettia, I'm going to flip it over, and it doesn't matter you see all this glue right now because we're going to glue everything down. We're going to put some glue on it. I want to make sure it really stays down. Spread it around. So I like to be just off center, and you just push it down. And this is the top that we're going to put our thread or wire or whatever through to make it an ornament. Put a good amount of glue on the top and just put it in there like that. I've noticed that you really have to let that piece dry quite a bit before moving it, so we want to leave that sit there for a while. So again, this was the one that I did previously. You could see they're just about the same. And everything looks pretty similar, so I think everything worked out. Okay, so I wanted to show you some other things that I've made, some other ornaments. These are snowflakes over in this area. This one I used some light blue and white, and this, as you can see, is a little bit bigger. It's probably 5 inches across. These are all plain white, all white snowflakes, all different ones together. This one is a yellow snowflake. Again, it's probably 3.5, 4 inches across. So they're varying sizes. Another type of ornament I do The back is all quilled paper, so this whole thing is paper twirled together, probably 20-25 pieces, and then I put the little pieces on top. This is another type of ornament where you wrap the pieces around something to make this hollow section in the center and then fill it. So if you would like me to show anyone any of these other types to make, please leave a message in the comments area. So that's how I make my wreath with the poinsettia. If you like my video, please subscribe, and if you want to see anything else, please check out my Etsy site at Quite Nice Quilling, and it's all one word. Thank you very much. See you soon.